Sadly, friends, just when we thought it was safe, wee Jimmy Cranky, aka Nicola the Sturgeon, is back demanding another Fandabbydozie independence referendum. Nicola claims that Brexit has given her a reason to go for a second referendum, or Indie Ref 2, and the SNP seem confident that this will happen next year regardless of the Brexit outcome. Yet it is quite strange that the SNP would not support Brexit in any way, when Brexit by default would be enough for a vote on Scottish and possibly Welsh independence. Plaid Cymru have also adopted the same pro-EU stance, yet by both Plaid and the SNP swallowing their pride and going for a hard Brexit, or at least a deal, this would then mean that they could go for an independence referendum. It may be a bitter pill, but ask 10 SNP or Plaid Cymru voters if they would accept an independence referendum in the near future, even if that meant that Brexit went through. 9 out of 10 of them would say yes. Some within the SNP and Plaid Cymru are starting to ask this, but the leaders at the top are unable to wean themselves off the EU teat and deludedly believe that somehow the UK is going to stay within the EU. This isn't going to happen, and if anything, the UK will probably be kicked out, as the EU files in Brussels will A, not wish to negotiate with Brexit AFD Front National, if that means that they will implode the EU from within, and B, they would rather spend the time on consulting and considering both Turkey and Israel for future EU inclusion. Could Scotland and Wales make a fresh run to apply for EU membership if the United Kingdom dissipates? Scotland potentially, but Wales's GDP is not sufficient enough. Only major industrial commercial investment in Wales would see Wales being given membership status, and as Wales is governed by Labour and they are pretty clueless, this isn't going to happen. The EU would look at Wales and say, nope, they're not going to give anything, they're just going to take. Whilst I do prefer the UK staying as one, it would be very hypocritical of me to not want a referendum on Scotland and Wales going it alone. And yes, I do support an independence referendum going ahead. I supported an EU referendum, so see Globo. Personally, I don't think that Scotland or Wales would get independence based on economy, and also the SJW left-wing idiots will reappear and derail the campaign with an abusive tone, just as they were rude and obstructive with Indy 1 and Brexit. They'll strike again and they'll shoot themselves in the foot. I do think that the outcome could have been different for Brexit had we just had people online debating in a sane, sensible and rational fashion. But of course, the SJWs ruined it. Perhaps if they could be taught that good manners mean that you aren't seen as a racist or bigot, maybe they could try a new approach other than having apoplectic meltdowns all the time when somebody says, respectfully, I disagree. Then again, lefties and sense have never mixed, have they? Shall they, friends?